In today's news, the alleged perpetrator in the recent viral school video arrested and charged. A domestic violence awareness with Miss BVI 2022 reflecting on her sexual assault story. And 31 naturalized citizens received British citizenship. And Turnbull lauds team behind beach management plan stated that the ministry is eyeing a 2023 completion. Well, viewers, these and more stories when 284 News return.
Introducing a show poised to help guide modern-day men into 21st century distinguished gentlemen. It doesn't always involve suits and bow ties, but raw, real-life lessons. I'm taking you outside in the field to share the journey of some of the BVI's the best and brightest men. From East End to West End, Virgin Gorda to Jos Van Dyke, not forgetting Anegada. Our Virgin Islands gentlemen are doing the damn thing. We are the movers and shakers of this generation. The art of a distinguished gentleman. Season 4 by yours truly, Ron Grant. Raising a generation of greatness. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. on 284 Media.
The wait is over. CCT Fire is here. Experience ultra-fast downloads, seamless streaming, and even more reliable connectivity on an all-new fire-blazing super-fast CCT Fiber network. CCT Fire. Bring it home and upgrade today.
Well, welcome viewers to the Friday, October 14th edition of 284 News. I am Kamal Haynes, bringing you the latest out of the British Virgin Islands. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us. While leading today's newscast, the mother of the high school student who is the alleged victim of recent acts of bullying has confirmed that the perpetrator who was seen in the recent viral video was arrested and charged. Well, Mrs. Asma Mohammed recently sat down with 284 Media to speak on the hard chain of events that she said has left her son fearful for his life. Well, according to reports, the alleged perpetrator was equipped with a brass knuckle, which was used to harm Mrs. Mohammed's son during the viral video. She said a court date has been set for November for the case.
The young man with the brass knuckle, he was arrested. After it was posted on social media, I was told that he was arrested in that case. But that's all that came out from it. That's it. You know.
So investigations are still pending? What's going on?
Well, from what I was told that he was arrested and my court case is in November and that's it. Okay, they didn't say what will be happening between now and November.
Okay, so it's a possible court case.
If he's going to be attending school, where he would be, but I was told he had to keep his distance away from my son.
Well, Mrs. Mohammed said she would like to see more done with the other students who she said is also involved with the incident. Well, the mother of 5 said she continues to teach the children daily about the act of bullying, stating that she herself was a victim of bullying, something that still impacts her to date.
I teach my children every day about bullying because I was a victim of bullying coming up in school, and it was not a nice feeling. And it never goes away because I am at this age with 5 children and I still remember my bullying. I still remember being bullied in school. I used to be bullied in school every single day. And I don't have any siblings at the school. I'm an only child. So I didn't have no siblings there to represent me or for me to run to or anything. My person I had to run to every day is my mom. Every day, actually every other day, she had to be going into school. And it's the same thing when in that case, nothing was resolved in that I had to go through school being bullied. And it's not a nice feeling for a child.
Well, Mrs. Mohammed said the situation is presently tough on her son and her family, but said she remains strong and calm for the betterment of her loved ones.
It's a tough situation and everyone have their own opinion, but it's hard because being a mother and it had a lot of comments, and the comments of parents was not good. And everybody's telling me that I'm being patient and I'm being calm in this situation, but it's not what it seems. I always try to teach my children them to avoid violence as much as possible. But even if a mother is working in the police force, in the high school, in the educational form, no mother would have sit and looked at a video with their child being bullied on the road. They have a video circulating with my son and the individual. And every time I look at the video, I get emotional or think about it. It's been so rough that when I sleep at night, the music that they actually make with this video, with the guy hitting my son in his head with a brass knuckle. How can a mother sit down for 3 weeks waiting on the police, looking at a video with all of that evidence showing that this individual is hitting my son and my son is on the road running for his life?
Well, to view that full interview, persons can log on to our 284media.com webpage. Well, moving on, viewers, where Miss BVI 2022, Jarena Penn, is bringing awareness to the issue of domestic violence in the British Virgin Islands and wider Caribbean by sharing her own story of being sexually abused at home and abroad as a young child.
My first encounter with it, my encounter was sexual assault. So the first time that happened to me was at a very young age. I think I was four living in St. Kitts. But my first time here in the BVI when it happened, I was 7. So throughout my years of growing up, I've had different encounters with different people that I've trusted or that I felt like I could trust or that were very close to me. And it could be, that's just to show you, it could be the person that you trust the most.
Well, Penn continued by cautioning members of the public to be aware of the people they surround themselves and their children with, warning that her experience is one in a mountain of evidence that this form of abuse is usually perpetrated by a trusted individual.
It's not somebody that's outside that would more so do it, but somebody that's really close to you, somebody that knows your actions, how you emote, how you go about your day.
While reflecting on her experiences, Penn said that in the aftermath of the abuse at that young age, she developed trust issues and found it difficult to open up to people, even in regards to informing an adult about what was going on until they had approached her with evidence of their own. But the experiences, she said, also had a significant toll on her mental health and, in the period of her life, led her to contemplate taking her own life.
It did lead to me becoming suicidal. I did have those thoughts. And I'm saying this now because it's very important. I'm speaking to the community right now. It is very important that you listen or look out for signs of suicidal. Because people could be out here with the happiest of face and inside they could really be thinking on these type of stuff. And I don't want you guys to see it happen and make a joke out of it or take it as a laughing matter because it's very, very serious.
Well, Penn said that over the years, with the assistance of a mental health professional and other influential individuals in her life, has managed and continued to put in the inner work to facilitate healing and forgiveness of herself and the perpetrators of her abuse for what happened to her.
So it's like when that encounter happened to me at 7 years old, these are two persons that I trusted and were they were very present in my life and was around me very, very often. So for that to happen, it kind of took a toll on me. But over the years, I found ways I could deal with it and how I could help myself get over it. I have forgiven them and stuff like that. But it's the inner work still needs to be done. And I've gotten to a place where I'm able to really deal with it and talk about it where it doesn't affect me anymore.
Well, up next, viewers, 31 naturalized citizens received British citizenship, and Turnbull Lauds team behind Beach Management Plan with his ministry eyeing 2023 completion date. But these and more stories after a word from our sponsors.
Freeze. Choose your mix. Choose your flavor.
You value traditions. Today, you value music. You value education, family.
I love you.
Service.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Love. Life. At Popular, we're committed to you and everything our community values. For the things you value the most, count on us. Popular.
There's a reason you get up on a morning. A reason you pick yourself up, start the day. Maybe it's sheer grit. Maybe it's your ethics. Maybe it's because you know people like you are waiting. For people just like you. We all have our reasons, and for Republic Bank, that reason is you. Every little thing, every big thing. It's all about making a difference in your life. Because after 182 years, if it's one thing we're sure about, is that the difference is you. We're here to help.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, 31 naturalized citizens of the British Virgin Islands received their British citizenship following a recent ceremony that was held at the governor's residence in Rotong. Well, this was the second cohort of persons to receive British citizenship for the year and the first under the new monarchy of His Majesty King Charles III. Well, speaking during the ceremony, Governor His Excellency John Rankin welcomed the new British citizenship.
Today, a total of 31 of you who have made your home here in the Virgin Islands have taken this significant step. Many of you will already have been to a similar ceremony when you were presented certificates of naturalisation as British Overseas Territory citizens. But you're now going one step further. And shortly, you will be taking the oath of allegiance to His Majesty the King and your pledge of loyalty to the United Kingdom. And this is a formal promise as you embrace your new nationality and consider the opportunities it offers.
Well, Governor Rankin also said that it was important that the newly registered British citizens be acknowledged for their milestone in a formal manner.
By obtaining British citizenship, you've exercised a right you enjoyed as British Overseas Territories citizens. But although it's a right, it's an important decision you've taken. And it's proper that the fulfillment of it should be marked in a formal way, which is what we're doing today. And that's important, not just as a matter of ceremony. It's also a matter to which ministers in the United Kingdom government, the government in Britain, attach real importance.
While the governor also spoke about the common traits of the Virgin Islands, which connects its people to the United Kingdom.
British law requires that those who acquire British nationality in this way must not only demonstrate a commitment to the United Kingdom, but also a knowledge of its history, its institutions, and its language. And of course, all of that is part of the connection between this territory, the Virgin Islands, and its special links with Great Britain. We have a common legal system. We have links in our culture, strong links in the people of these territories, this territory, and people in the United Kingdom, of which the Deputy Governor and I are part in the relationship we have and which I want to have in my relations with everyone here in the Virgin Islands.
Well, viewers, in May, 17 naturalized citizens received their British citizenship, allowing them the ability to freely live, work, and vote in the United Kingdom. Well, moving on, viewers, where the Minister for Natural Resources and Labour, Honourable Melvin Mitch Turnbull, has lauded the efforts of the professionals within his ministry who are at the heart of seeing through the development of the Long Bay Beef Island Beach Management Plan.
God has gifted us with these beaches. Yes, it is part of a tourism product, but if we do not preserve, if we do not protect, and if we do not plan ahead for how we're going to continue to maintain our beaches and our natural resources, then it will be our loss. So I am glad that there are persons within this ministry and in this team who have taken the liberty and made this the pilot project for how we plan to address beaches, how we plan to address how persons and the noise pollutions and the pollution on the beach and the use and how we keep it safe for not just this generation, not just for tourists, but for those of us who call this BVI, who call this territory home and enjoy it.
Well, Turnbull noted that a significant amount of work is being done to ensure that the policies to emerge from this plan will be thoroughly thought out and effective in addressing the issues identified at the beach. For this, he expressed gratitude to all involved in the process.
So we have a job to do. I believe my team in the Ministry of Natural Resources and Labour are committed. They have shown their dedication and commitment. All the persons have been a part of the committee from all areas and all walks of the government service. I want to thank them. I am not going to speak any longer. I just want to say thank you to everyone. I look forward to the comments. I thank you to the Honourable Premier for facilitating this process and also making the necessary funding available to be able to implement this project coming up in 2023, because it will do a great wonder to protect and preserve and promote Long Bay Beef Island, but it also do a great job to help our overall environment and nation building and protecting the environment as we deal with climate change and the effects thereof, to ensure that we are doing everything possible to ensure that the education of our people, the education of our children, to how we treat our beaches and our natural resources. Because without the environment, there could be no schools, there could be no building, there could be no infrastructure. So with this team, I am deliciously proud of them.
Well, as explained during a recent community meeting in the initial stages of implementation of the beach management plan, the Ministry of Natural Resources and Labour will continue to manage the beach. At such time, when the implementation of the plan is completed and the area becomes a national park, the responsibility for management will be handed over to the National Parks Trust. But the ministry is hoping to achieve success on this venture through 6 key mechanisms, namely public education, signage, intervention by beach wardens and police, complaints mechanisms, enforcement of lease and license provisions, and enforcement of relevant legislation. But the ministry hopes to observe the following timeline for implementation, which include the environmental restoration and protection, which is also phase 1, from January 15th, 2023 to May 31st, 2023. The environmental restoration and protection, which is phase 2, from August 15th, 2023 to October 31st, 2023. And facilities development from January 15th, 2023 to October 31st, 2023. Well, a conceptual video of the intended final product can be accessed on bvi.gov.vg/environment. Well, up next, viewers, Dr. Kedrick Pickering weighs in on the state of the territory and Operation Trigger VII. Interpol and CARICOM team up for record firearm and drug seizures across the region. We get to those stories when 284 News return.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Well, welcome back, viewers. Well, in a recent interview with our very own Ron Grant, former Deputy Premier of the Virgin Islands, Dr. Kedrick Pickering, weighed in on the state of the territory and what he calls the need for experienced leadership like himself.
It's an interesting question because it's something that I pondered for a while when the many persons that I've met along the way over the last several years have been saying to me that I should consider getting back into politics, that I should run again. Country needs some experienced persons, some persons with knowledge of how this thing works, etc., etc. And as events have unfolded over the last 2 years, but most specifically over the last year and a half with the COI, the conduct of that investigation and subsequently the report, it has put the BVI in somewhat of a difficult place. And I hear it almost on a daily basis, Ron, that we're at a point in our history where we need a few more experienced people to be able to deal with the magnitude of the issues, the difficulties that we have to face, not only in the present circumstances, but in the future. And so after much soul searching, I say, I think I should at least get involved in the debate and lend my voice. I'm sure, Ron, you would have heard this saying that the only way for evil to prosper is for good men to keep quiet. And I Indeed. Always tell myself that the one thing I wouldn't want to happen to me is that in later years, my children and my grandchildren would say to me, Daddy, where were you when all of this was happening? I would love them to be able to say, at least my daddy tried.
Well, of the many issues he deemed important, Pickering outlined the BVI's relationship with the United Kingdom.
I think the obvious, number one is our relationship with the United Kingdom at this point in time. And that not only overshadows just about everything that is happening right now, it overshadows our daily lives, the present, and the immediate future, and if I may say, our long-term future. Because as I said in a political forum a couple of weeks ago, it's time for us to reset. And when I speak about reset, I mean it in a number of ways. I said that we need to reset our relationship with the United Kingdom. We need to reset our our approach to our politics. And we certainly need to reset our way with respect to moving forward. But more than anything else, Ron, I think it's important for us as a people to start resetting our own thinking. Primarily, we've got to sit and ask our individual selves, what is it we really want for our country? Where do we want to see our country go? What direction we want this country to move in? Where do we want to be in a year's time, 5 years' time, 10 years, 20, 25 years from now? Where would we like to see our country? And the only way we are going to be able to do that is to reset our thinking. We've got to think about the future of this country, what it is that we're going to pass on to our children. What are we going to leave them? We can't just go along willy-nilly and expecting things to work out. They're not going to work out. We've got to set a plan, an agenda, and have a clear vision forward of what we want to do with our country. And then, when we do that and put our brightest minds together, we can come up with a way forward. But it isn't going to happen with the same level of thinking that we've got us here. We've got to rethink.
While speaking strongly on the need for experienced leadership, Pickering spoke against having inexperienced persons lead.
The upcoming election campaign means that each and every single person in this country who can vote has a responsibility to be involved in the process. This is an election where we should have 100% turnout at the polls because people are so seriously committed to seeing our country do well. I sincerely believe that this country is ordained for greatness. I believe that with all my heart. But we've got to reset right now. Now is the opportunity because this country can easily fall over the cliff if we make the wrong move. And we can only do that if collectively we work together. And collectively means we want experience, we want youngsters, and we want...
Well, viewers, to view that full interview, log on to our 284media.com webpage. Well, moving on to our final story, viewers, where an estimated 510 arrests have been made across 19 Caribbean countries following a joint firearm operation completed by Interpol and the CARICOM Implementation Agency for Crime and Security. Well, Operation Trigger VII was staged with the assistance of officers stationed at airports, seaports, land border, and inland hotspots across 19 countries, who were directed to act on intelligence pointing to organized crime groups and individuals involved in firearms trafficking. Well, searches were also conducted on the grounds of warehouses, firearms dealerships, shooting ranges, and private security companies. Well, the week-long operation conducted from September 24th to 30th resulted in the seizure of 350 weapons, 3,300 rounds of ammunition, 10.1 tons of cocaine, 2.5 tons of cannabis, and the arrest of the subject of an Interpol red notice wanted for murder. Well, the operation was also supported by the Joint Regional Communications Center, the U.S. Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and the U.S. Homeland Security. Well, authorities said that a number of emerging trends in trafficking were identified through the operation, one of which was the discovery of pistols and bullets being smuggled inside of cereal boxes. The discovery was reportedly made in Dominica by customs authority, who decided to escort a suspicious package. Well, 20 pistols and multiple rounds of ammunition were discovered in the bust, and the intended recipient of the shipment was arrested upon attempting to collect. Well, investigations in this matter are ongoing and being led by the authorities in the United States and Dominica. Well, the operation also saw the first seizure of ghost guns in St. Kitts and Nevis. Well, participating countries were Antigua and Barbuda, Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Bonaire, Curacao, Dominica, Dominican Republic, France, Guadeloupe and Martinique, Grenada, Guyana, Haiti, Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, Turks and Caicos, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Suriname. Well, viewers, that's it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com and like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Kamal Haynes. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Bye-bye.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut front of people.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you?
Yes.
You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?